very good morning to you. It's Friday the 14th of December 2018. Welcome to this morning's United Kingdom talk, coming to you from the Chapel Hill Marina in Lincolnshire. And boys and girls, once we get to the 14th of December, it all seems to be getting very close now. There's something in my head anyway, my strange way that I think about things. In my head, 14th of December seems very, very close to Christmas now, doesn't it? Eh? Well, a very cold day outside here in Lincolnshire. Although I have to tell you, the gas heater that I bought a couple of days ago, that my brother-in-law set up for me, which is quite it's not something that I'd want to do, to be honest. I'm a bit funny with gas. Gas worries me a little bit, and it's quite simple to put a pipe on and just click that and do. It's quite simple. But what a difference that's made. I'm no longer cold in here at all. Obviously, you wouldn't. It's like one of those portable gas heaters that's on wheels. It's got a gas bottle in it as well. I do have a gas fire in the living room as well, but it's not really enough for the whole caravan. So I've got this thing, and when I turn it on, only when I'm in the room. You're not supposed to leave these things on all night long, or you know, if you leave the room. So when I'm in the room, I turn it on and I point it into the living area, the same as the other gas fire, and actually it warms the entire caravan up. It's a wonderful thing. It's funny, the people on the Static Caravan Facebook group, a lot of them are very against these fires, talking of carbon monoxide and moisture problems. I've got no moisture problems in here whatsoever. And nothing ever seems damp, or the walls aren't like pouring down with drips or anything like that. So I don't know why they have so many problems. Could it be, I wonder, that they block up their little ventilation slots or anything like that? I don't know what's causing it, but I don't even get a thing on the window. You know, like you get some misting on the windows sometimes. I've got double glazing here. It's a very old caravan, but I don't get any misting on the windows, nothing. So I don't know why it is. Perhaps they do block up their holes and their ventilation holes in the caravans. I don't know. But wonderful, absolutely wonderful. What else has happened this morning? Strangely enough, my Vista computer seems to suddenly have quadrupled in speed. So I don't know what's happened to that. You know, I've got two computers in there. I've got my main one, which is the computer that the camera and the sound, that all goes into there, and that all works well. And there's one on the left, which is a Vista computer that I'm trying to use for the messaging, and also a few other little bits and pieces while I'm chatting away to you. And suddenly that seems to have quadrupled in speed. After me thinking, oh, this is useless, I'll see how I get on. And it has been incredibly slow. It's suddenly picked up in speed. Isn't that strange and mysterious? Perhaps the Lord above is helping us with our programme this morning. Right, who's there today? Let's have a quick look, boys and girls. Good morning to Mark Jones over on Facebook. On Facebook Live, who gets the first message of the day. His crown is back. His crown is back. Mark was always... often the very first person to get messages in first time in the morning. So good morning to you, Mark. Paul and Lou are there in Birmingham. Wayne is there. Good morning, Wayne. Ray Reynolds, International. Good morning, Ray. Ukulele player. I've got your present, Ray. I've got a gift for you, a little Christmas gift for Ray Reynolds. Good morning to Katie Ann Patterson, who says it's raining in Australia. Well, take an umbrella out, dear. Don't get too wet. I never forget being in Australia. 6 years ago, something like that, 6 or 7 years ago, and you had terrible floods in Queensland. Do you remember that? Well, it was awful. Great areas of the country were completely underwater, weren't they? I remember that. And that river burst its banks, the one that goes through Brisbane. Not the Yarra, that's Melbourne, isn't it? What's the river that goes through Brisbane? Can't remember, but it burst its banks big time. And Brisbane is a city, and it all got flooded and everything. Terrible it was. Good morning to John Parrish this morning. Diane Jebb is in the house. Paul and Lou won't have to wait long. No, you won't have to wait long for something else to go wrong, John. I'm sure you won't. No moisture problems. None at all. None at all in here. That's it. My holes are completely blocked. My holes are not blocked, John. My holes are fully opened and waiting. Just not for you, my friend. Not for you. Not in 1,000 years. Absolutely not. Morning to Right Side Up. You're nice and early today, aren't you? Over on Vaughan Live there. Adam the Plumber's there. Zach Thompson. Good morning, Zach. That is such a cool name, isn't it? Zach. Such a totally and utterly cool name is Zach. I love it. Danny Davis is there. Good morning, Danny Davis. I try your phone numbers and none of them work. This is one of the problems. People do this. They change their mobile phone number and they think they've told everyone and they don't. And they never keep the same number. You can keep the same number. Why don't people keep the same numbers? The worst people that do that, entertainment people like yourself, Danny. You need to keep that same mobile number throughout the whole life. I've had my same mobile number now for 25 years. I believe the term is port. I port it from one place to the other. It's ported from one place to the other. You should port your number. And good morning. Yeah, Katie said they lost a lot of lives where she lives due to those floods. Terrible those years ago. Was it about 6 years ago? Maybe a little bit longer than that. I never forget. It was on the television all the time. Helicopters flying over and that sort of thing. The Brisbane River, thank you very much. That was the one. Danny is going to call me later. I hope you've still got my number, Danny. Well, call us about, let's see, 20 past 9, 20 past 10. Call us about 10:30. 10:30 would be good. 10:30. And if you're not, just send me a text with your number on it, for Christ's sake. You keep changing the blooming number. Months I haven't spoken to you, dear. I thought you were dead. But you're not. What a shame. Never mind. So I was going to go nighttime swimming last night. I did say I might do a show, but it's not through choice. I thought I'd go nighttime swimming because yesterday after the show I packed my bag all ready to go swimming and the phone rings. And it's my sister. Are we going shopping? And I'm like, no, I don't think so. Just to let you know, it says on my little text in number, no service. So if you're trying to text in a message at the moment, that says no. Oh, hang on, it's come on now. Or maybe it's in the wrong place. I'll put it over here. Sorry, so if you're sending text messages, that should come through now. Okay, yes. So my sister said, are we going shopping? I said, well, I was about to go swimming. And she said, you said you might go shopping. I said, I'm going to go swimming instead. So I put the phone down. And then I felt guilty. And the thing is, this week we haven't been to Skegness. I do love to meet up with my sister and brother-in-law at least once a week. Now, we're all mid-50s. And, she's early 50s. Me and brother-in-law were only a few months apart in age. And we do have a laugh when we go out. Oh, believe me, school children running around misbehaving are nothing compared to the three of us when we're out. Absolutely not. And because we're old, we're not suspected. It's true. Oh, it's wonderful going into a cinema, throwing bits of... What you've got to do if you... if you're of a bit of an age, okay, if you want to have a great laugh in a cinema, okay... Sit near some young people, sort of teenagers. You want to sit near teenagers. Sit near some teenagers with a bag of popcorn, okay, and start throwing the popcorn at other people in the cinema. And they always think it's the teenagers. They never think it's us. Me and my sister, we're just sitting there like that, and when people look round, we shake their heads. It's us. Oh dear. My brother-in-law always catches me out for trying to chat up young lads on tills and things like that. It happened again yesterday. I'll come to that in a minute. And I've also, I'm also prepared today. So I have a bit of a problem. I've got my asthma thing here. That's it, let the air back out again, just in case, because I had to pop into the other room the other day. This is due to a visit of my niece's this week. She had a dog in there last week, and it's not there now, but nevertheless, little bits of fur have been dropped all over the place, haven't they, you see? Little bits of fur everywhere, and it's really affected my breathing big time the last couple of days. But never mind. So we didn't go. I didn't go swimming yesterday afternoon. I picked the phone up again. All right, sis, I'll come shopping with you. And then she says, oh, right, well, me and Martin had just got in the car. At which point I thought, if they're going somewhere, I don't want to interrupt their day now because I've already turned her down once. You know, for me to pick up the phone, because I felt guilty. I thought, I've just said to my sister, no, I'm not going shopping now. But I said I might. I picked up the phone. Oh, I'll come shopping. She said, oh, Martin's in the car now. And I'm like, oh, well, if you're going somewhere, that's fine. Oh, no, she said. I said, so they put the phone down there. So that was all well and good. Because I'd hate to, interrupt someone else's day. So they came round to the caravan. And actually, it's the first time since Martin set up my gas heater that he's been round here. So I turned it on. It takes him about 20 minutes to get here. I said, come in first before we go, and you'll see how warm it is. And honestly, it chucks off so much heat. It's unbelievable. It really is. But you mustn't leave these things on if you're disappearing out of the room, if anything other than going to the toilet for a couple of minutes or something like that. So we jumped in my car because I wanted to get the cheap fuel as well. And we went to a place called, I think it was Spalding. Now, I've got to be careful of this. There's 3 towns that I confuse with each other. Spalding, I can't even remember the other 2 others. But they all begin with S, and they're similar names, and I get very confused with the 3 of them. I think it was Spalding we went to yesterday, because my sister wanted to go to Aldi. So first of all, we get in the car, and we got to Spalding around about 10 past 12, something like that. And we thought we'd have dinner first, because remember, we'd had breakfast about 8 o'clock. I'd had breakfast about 8 o'clock. I don't know what time they had their breakfast. So we went into this chip shop, and we went in there and sat down. There was no one else in there. I think it just opened. Oh, my God, it was bloody freezing in there. It was freezing. So I shouted over, can we have the heating on, please? And this woman, she said, oh, yeah, I'll get that turned on for you. And she shouts out, Aaron, can you put the heating out? And I turned around, and there was Aaron. Oh, my God. Gorgeous blonde lad, about 22 or 23 years old, with tight black jeans on as well. Ah! Of course, Martin spots me straight away looking at this lad, doesn't he? But he was a bit camp, and we're wondering if he was on the same bus as us. Obviously not the same age as me. And now and again, he would flick his hair. He he was flicking his hair. Young Aaron. So there we are. So I spent a little bit of time looking at him, and then we sat down, and we located where the heat was coming from out of like an air conditioning vent that was in the roof. So I immediately... Was that a knock at the door? Was that a knock? I thought I heard a knock then. Just a moment, let me have a look out my window. No, there's no one there. It's not a religious extremist trying to get in and take over the show. Millions of people watching this, dear. Millions. You can understand why a religious extremist would want to take over this show, can't you? So I located where the heat was coming out, and I immediately rushed over to that table, sat there and said, why don't you come over here? It's warmer here. Well, not where they were sitting, because I was now under this heat exchange of whatever it is coming out, and I could feel the heat coming out. Lovely. So I had chips and baked beans, my usual thing when I'm out. My sister had chips and fish and chips. And my brother-in-law had a kebab, but not with the pita bread, because he's off carbohydrates at the moment. So he had that and some salad. So that was nice. Then I went to pay, and luckily enough, Aaron came out to collect the money. Oh yes, I did consider writing my number on the £20 note that I handed over, but I didn't. Perhaps I should have done that. We must go there. Perhaps if I go there again on my own, I might get chatted up. What do you reckon? With his blonde flicks. So that was that. We then went to Aldi. And it's funny, you know, when you go into a supermarket, they're all laid out exactly the same, aren't they? My sister prefers this Aldi because she reckons the Aldi in Boston is dirty. Now, I've been in the Aldi in Boston. I didn't find it particularly dirty. Oh, it's quite a new shop, seemed to be well run and that. If there's one Aldi that is a bit dirty and old, it's the one in Bracknell. I've got to be honest there. And I've mentioned several times on the show that the blueberries there are often mouldy. I do not think that cooler, or whatever it's called, that chiller cabinet is working properly in the Bracknell Audi. It's been 3 or 4 occasions where I've gone in there, picked up blueberries, mouldy, but the entire box. And then you lift the box up to find the next ones. You should always do that, which are more in date than the ones on the top. And they were like 2 extra days on there. So say it was 10th of December, the little ones underneath said 15th of December, and they were mouldy as well. So there must be something wrong with that cabinet. Why they don't get it fixed, I do not know, because they're chucking away all that stuff and losing money on it, aren't they? But she preferred the Spalding one, so we did our shopping in there, free parking, and we come out of there. But Spalding town itself, lots of little shops. Oh my God, just so busy. Just so busy. The traffic flowing through there, traffic coming through there, and lovely little cottages, but on the main road. The main road, which is moving very slowly, and I thought, well, sod living in one of those. You've got that constant stream of cars coming past you all the time in Spalding. Terrible. We got out there eventually, got back here. I was quite tired then. So then I went to bed, and then I was woken up by a phone call, which I should tell you about after coming to some more messages here. One moment, please. Oh, well, I'm there now, honey. I'm on there. Just a moment. Adam the plumber says he's had the same number since 2005. Well, good on you, Adam. And you need to keep the same numbers. If you're anything like self-employed, you must not change your mobile number. It's the worst thing you can do. Don't be all bullshit about it and say, oh, well, I want to change my number, or it's... No, think of the people trying to contact you. Not me. Not me, Danny. I'm not going to employ you, but people that might want to employ you. Adam the plumber has obviously kept his same name because he's a plumber, and people can will always remember that number. You can change your number and tell everyone, right? But people like me get the change of number. Well, I'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes, and then you forget. It's a little bit like Facebook messages. Sometimes you see them flash up, right, and you think, oh, I'll do that later, and then you completely forget about it. And people get all upset and irate. And, oh, you haven't answered my message. Oh, you haven't replied to my text. Like it's like the most important thing on someone's mind, that you need to reply to this text, which has just come on and says, how are you? That's an important thing. Talking of texts, let's have a little look. See, there we are. I knew that would come in there. Good morning to John and Sherry in the Philippines. Is that John Parrish? John, and I've got your phone number now, John. If you piss me off now, I'm going to keep ringing you in the middle of the night. That's a lovely name, Sherry. What a lovely name that is, Sherry. John's wife, Maureen's there. Good morning to Maureen in sunny London. Are you in tonight, Maureen? Sing a song, sing out loud, sing. Now, which Christmas number are you going to do tonight? Now, what's the Christmas number I like you doing? Brenda, is it a Brenda Lee one? It's not rocking around the Christmas tree, is it, Maureen? Can't remember. You do a Christmas... You did several Christmas numbers. Not Mistletoe and Wine. There's a upbeat one that you do. What was it, Maureen? Can't remember. Tell me. Simon Keane. Reference to wedding ring, Mr. Chop Chop. My ex-wife was in the butcher's and she said, excuse me, is that a pig's head in the window? No, he said, that's a mirror. Oh, that's awful, Simon. Oh, and that's really offensive towards women. Some more Christmas songs Simon sends in that they can ban. Let It Snow. It offends sun worshippers. What we're doing is a little play on those people that are snowflakes. The permanently offended, sad. Oh, I'm so sensitive. That's hurt me. Oh. Sensitive my arse. And another one here. Blue Christmas offends the fans of pop band 5 and how they ban walking in the air because it encourages LSD, drug use. We're walking in the air. Well, his voice dropped, didn't he? As long with the other 2 pieces that are hanging around in his trousers. We're walking on the air. Da, 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 da. I suppose it'll be on again, the snowman. Hasn't it melted yet? You would have thought all those years on the telly, the snowman might have melted, wouldn't you? Mr. Chop Chop, bring back the clippers on the buses, the conductors. Oh, yes. Ones with double deckers. Tickets, please. Tickets, please. Tickets, please. Did you know Audi are closing 200 stores next year with the loss of 16 jobs? Very, very good, Simon. Thank you. Simon thought he defended me the other day and he hadn't. Don't worry about offending me, mate. If someone offends me on here, I will answer back. Don't worry. I'm not... I'm a snowflake. Oh, I can't cope. Go away then. Go away. Lock yourself in your safe space. Go and lock yourself in your... I've got a cupboard here. Any of the snowflakes in the world want to come and reside in this cupboard? £20 a week. £20 a week? That's so offensive. I can't afford that. Stupid people. Back to your messages then. Thomas H. Throwing popcorn. So childish. Oh, yeah, Thomas, but so much fun. So much fun, especially when you get the teenagers to take the blame for it. Thank you, John. I got your text there as I just read out. Thank you, John. But by the way, there is a text number there if you are watching on the television and you haven't got access to Facebook or something like that. Then feel free to text in 07551 259 675. 07551 259 675. You can, if you want to, text at any time that number, day or night, although it won't get picked up until the next show. Okay, so if you've got anything to say at all, feel free to use that text. Good morning to Paul Gallagher. Good morning, Paul. Nice to see you down the pub a couple of times last week, wasn't it? Do you have a fax machine, Chris? No. Don't have a fax machine. Used to have a fax machine. That was so exciting when I got my fax machine and the first fax came in and you knew someone had put a piece of paper in a machine somewhere and pushed a couple of buttons and out it came at your end. And isn't it fantastic? Fax machines, of course, now it's all done on the computers. You can send a fax to a computer or simply take a photograph of something and send that over like that, isn't it? Good. The old office I worked in had a fax machine about 1990. It was amazing technology at the time. I think it still is. I think it still is amazing technology, a fax machine. As I say, to be able to put a piece of paper in one machine and have it come out at the other end exactly the same. How clever is that? Although, of course, it isn't the same thing. It's different paper, different ink, everything. Wonderful, really. I wonder if, like, years to come, if they transport people like some in a beam, like in Star Trek. Okay, so we would disappear from there and appear there. But will it actually be us or just a copy of us? Do you see what I mean? It won't really be us, will it? It'll be a copy, surely? Don't know. Steam driven. Paul says Spalding's lovely. I hope it was Spalding that I went to, but it was just so busy, Paul. Busy. We went past a lovely church there. No more dodgy £20 notes. Oh, no more, fortunately. I got a dodgy £20 note in my wages last week, but I mean the venue took it back and changed it. Although I gather if you hand over a dodgy £20 note, whoever you hand it over to is supposed to keep it and send it, I don't know, actually to the bank or the police, one of the two, I suppose, or the customs people. Who would you send that to? Aren't you supposed to hold on to a bad £20 note and send it somewhere? I'm not quite sure about that. There you go. Look, Adam says, because I've got my same number, I still get calls from customers that have not called me for 5 or 6 years. There you go. It's the same. It's a good job that the old boyfriends don't call, really, isn't it? I mean, I used to change my numbers every other day when I had a different boyfriend every night. I did. I had to change my number every week. Oh, they kept calling. And then you can reach a certain age and it all stops. It all stops. I mean, completely. Not a single call from anyone who fancies me anymore. Never mind. Morning to Claire. Hello, you lovely lady. Good morning to Claire. Are you along tonight? A little Christmas song perhaps tonight from Claire? You did Christmas song last week, didn't you? Adam. The NHS have just decided to stop using fax machines. That was on the news the other day. It will save them an amount of money. Well, what in that fax? Because that fax roll is like a thermal paper, isn't it? All shiny and funny, that fax paper. Morning to Joanna, just joining us today. And Katie says, I think I would take it to a police station. That's what you would do with dodgy £20 notes, perhaps. I'm not quite sure. I think there is something specific that you're supposed to do with those. All right. Just remind the gang, all the messages sometimes don't come through. I have to tell you that we have a particular problem, it would seem, with Ray Reynolds' messages. Sometimes they come through, sometimes they don't. So I've got them on here as well. So now I'm going to scroll back and see there are messages on here that aren't on there. Ferrell, let me just see. Ferrell, so your message came after, and my nephew's there as well. That didn't come up on there. Look at that. Look at that. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know why they come up on the iPad and not on the computer, but let's go to these ones. Gary says, please can I go swimming if you want to? If you want to come swimming, get round here for 10:30, Gary, all right? Hello to, there you are, you see, Mark Jones as well. There's another message from Mark that didn't appear on that screen in front of me. So quickly moving up. Good morning, Colin. Hello, Colin. Welcome to the show. Farrell Joseph is here. He's got his new song out. If you want to copy and paste your little, what's it called, website address, you do so, Farrell. Don't be shy about doing that, okay? Just put on there so people can listen to your music. Good morning to Julian, who's in a chilly Mallorca. Chilly. I bet it's about 15 degrees there, isn't it? Something like that. 15 degrees there. Must be. Thank you, Adam, for telling me to check my text messages. We've done that once so far. No other new ones coming in there. Thank you, Adam. See, it's Sleaford. What did I say? Oh, it was Sleaford we went to, not Spalding. See, I told you. Thank you, Gary. It was Sleaford I went to, not Spalding. I told you there's three. Spilsby, Sleaford and Spalding. I get confused with the three of them. All very, very similar things. Adrian says he's had the same phone number for 30 years. Again, Adrian, see, your messages have come up on here and not there. I don't know why that is. I think maybe I should send a little message to the Restream people and tell them this, because it's the strange thing. It's a good job I keep them up on here as well. Is that everyone? I think that's everyone, isn't it? We've gone down there. Danny's going to call us later. Thank you, Danny. So it was Sleaford. Thank you, Gary. Spalding, which is not Spalding. See, Spalding's. Let me just. I've actually got the messages on 3 places this morning. Let me go to Paul Gallagher. Where are you now, Paul? Paul says, just bear with me. Spalding's lovely. Now Gary Butler's message should be above that, and it's not. It's just not there. There's 2 from Paul, but Gary's one didn't come through. What about on here? Is it the computer? I don't know. Just a second, my darlings. No, Paul. Gary. So it's got to be something to do with the Restream. It must be, which does make me wonder if there are any of the others not coming through. YouTube. I think everyone's YouTube messages come through. And everyone's Vaughan Live site, Vaughan Live, Vaughan Live, is it? I can't remember the name of the blooming place. Vaughan, I think they all come through. It's just the Facebook ones, they don't all come through on that other system. Strange. Julian says it's only 12 degrees centigrade. Oh, you poor old thing. Oh, you poor old thing. There you go. Ferrell's got his iTunes thing. He's got a new EP come out. Okay, he's a singer. Very good singer and all-round nice guy as well. So if you want to click on there after we finish the show and have a little listen to Farrell Joseph's music. Okay. Have you heard the new Firefighters Feed the World single? Yes, a couple of people have been sending that around. Feel free to put the thing of that on there as well. Okay. Adam says that's why I could never get hold of you when I was younger. You always change your number when you were a superstar international DJ and I was chasing you all over London. I was a superstar international DJ, and it's all finished. It's all stopped. All finished, all gone. But isn't it funny how I was a superstar international DJ, and then I became an international television personality and one of the biggest stars this world has ever seen? That's me. That's me. And then on a Friday night and a Monday night, like tonight, I host karaoke in a small pub because I like to do my bit. Like to do my bit for the various charitable organisations. And it is a charitable organisation. When you look at the money I'm paid there, dear. Do you have to click like before you send a message? Does it make any difference for the first connection? Don't know. No, because the thing is, Ray, they come up on here. All the messages come up on here. All of them. Right? This is the Facebook page that you are watching me on. Okay? So you can see everyone's messages on there unless you've blocked someone. You can see all those. Now, in front of me here, and I don't have another camera to show, is like a Restream chat message system, which, if you didn't know, this show, as well as going out on Facebook Live, is on YouTube Live, Periscope, Twitch, and I think there's another one, I can't remember, Vaughan Live as well, right? It's supposed to collect all the messages and put them in one place, making it a lot easier. But for some reason, all the Facebook messages don't come up on there. Most of them do. I would say 90% of them do, but not all of them. And that's the weird thing. The weird thing about it. Paul says Facebook is a bit glitchy. I don't think it's Facebook, to be honest. Thomas says, Thomas obviously knows a little bit about computers. He said packets of information arrive at different times, being sent through different servers. Well, yeah, I would get that, but they just don't all arrive at all. You know, I would say I'm losing about 5% of the messages, which is not an awful lot, but it is a lot if you're one of the people that's getting none of the messages sent. Good morning to Stafford Blake. Morning, Staffy. Morning to Roy Brownlow as well, joining us a little bit late this morning. So you see, I seen those as well. But let's have a look, Ray, on that. You see, Ray's one's come through this time. It's strange, isn't it? Anyway, let's not worry too much about that. We'll just get on with the show. Otherwise, we're talking technical all the blooming time, wouldn't it? Good. Claire's coming along tonight. She went to a new karaoke in Aldershot last night. A mere amateur by your standards, but it was a good night. Thank you very much, Claire. I like it. I like it when people say to me they've been to a karaoke and it was a bit amateur. Thank you, Claire. Have you not seen mine properly? Mine is the biggest amateur one going, dear. Amateur, that's me. Right Side Up says, I don't see all the messages, only the Vaughan Live ones. That's correct, right? That's correct, Mr. Right Side Up. So if you're on Vaughan Live, if you're watching on Vaughan Live, you will only see the Vaughan Live messages, okay? If you're watching on Facebook Live, you will only see the Facebook messages, as indeed most people are. If you're on YouTube, you only see the YouTube messages. But Restream, so this show gets sent to Restream and then sent to the various different platforms, okay? Restream, the idea is it collects the messages from all the other places and puts them in one place, making it a lot easier for me. So I just scroll up one long list rather than having 4 separate messaging things open. The Periscope ones just don't come through at all. So if you're watching on Periscope, I'm sorry, but I just don't seem to get your messages at all. So that's how it's supposed to work, but it doesn't. It doesn't seem to work like that. Some of the most messages come through, but it misses out some of them, and I don't know that why. Roy's still on location filming at the moment. Are you, Roy? Okay, now you see, Roy just sent through that. Right, so I've got the first message on from Roy. It says, morning, matey. Okay, then his next message says, I'm on location filming. That hasn't come up. And I'm scrolling down there, and that just doesn't come up at all. It's weird, isn't it? Anyway, never mind. That's life, I suppose. Remember That's Life? Da, da, da. Do you remember the dog that said sausages? Sausages. Sausages. Whenever I see sausages, I think of that dog on That's Life. Esther Ranson's That's Life. Go, sausages. That's supposed to be coming back. They're actually talking about that, bringing back That's Life, although I don't think it's going to be with with Esther Ranson, unfortunately, okay? Adrian's just having his scrambled egg. And now, of what interest, Andrew, is that to anyone? Telling us that you've just cooked a scrambled egg. Why is that of interest? Please tell me why that is of interest. John Parrish, I say, my dog doesn't eat. Why not? I don't give it anything. Oh, you're so cruel, you're so cruel. So, after the shopping experience, came back here, thought I'd have a little bit of a sleep. Now, it was quite easy. I had a bit of fatigue, a little bit of fatigue. I have a little minor illness that I do get fatigue now and again, and I had it yesterday afternoon, around about 2:30. So I went to bed, and I was woken up by my mobile phone ringing, and it was my niece. Now, when my phone rings, if it's usually I'll turn the phone off when I go to bed, so no one can disturb me. For some reason, I left it on. And my niece, my 2 nephews, and my sister, if they ring, it has a certain ringtone, so I know it's them, so I always grab it quickly. They're the only ones I run across the room for the phone. The other time it rings around, I might answer it in a minute. It gives you a certain amount of, a certain sense of power when the phone's ringing, and you think, oh, I'll answer it in a minute. You know, knowing that the poor person is waiting at the other end. Mind you, if it's the gas board or the electric people or council tax people, then they can wait, because that's your little bit of power. Perhaps perhaps you can see that the bank is ringing you. Now, remember, if it's the bank, what you could do is this: let it ring for a long time, as it does when you ring them, right? And eventually answer it. Hello. And then when they say, oh, hello, it's the Barclays Bank ringing. Thanks for calling, Chris Reardon. Please listen carefully to the following options. Press 1 and speak slowly, really slow. Press 1 if you are inquiring about dinner for 2. Press 2 if your inquiry is inquiring about the church services I will be attending, and go on and leave the one. Press 9 if it is a banking inquiry, and then you go, and then make some noises. Hello, this is Chris Reardon Banking Service. Is your inquiry about the credit card? Press 1. Do the same as they bloody well do to you. We hate automated menu phone services. But it wasn't. It was my niece. So she says to me, oh, hello, Chris. How are you today? How are you, Unks? She calls me Unks, as in uncle, Unks. I said, oh, I'm all right. I'm just in bed at the moment. Oh, shall we ring later? I said, no, what do you want? She says, what are you doing later tonight? I said, well, nothing in particular. I was going to go swimming. Oh, right. Only me and Ben, that's the husband, are going to a works dinner today in Lincoln. Right, we wondered if you could pick us up and bring us back afterwards. Well, that's 45 minutes away. You know, so that's 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back. And I'm thinking, what? You want a lift back from Lincoln? Of course, it's my niece. Yeah, okay, if you want. Oh, thanks ever so much, Unc. Thank you. What is the latest time you could pick us up? Now, when I'm up here, I'm often in bed by 11:30, okay? So I'm like, oh, you know, I think they're going to a pub or something like that. I said, oh, whatever, you just tell me what time you want us to pick you up. She said, would 12 o'clock be all right? I said, 12 o'clock? Have you gone mad, dear? 12 o'clock? So you want me to leave my nice warm caravan, I beg your pardon, the Lincolnshire United Kingdom Talk television studios at 11 o'clock to come and pick you up from bloody Lincoln at midnight? She says, oh, is that a bit late? Ben says, what about 11:30? So I said, yeah, of course I will. And then, so that was all right. And so she put the phone down. And I thought, okay, yeah, that's fine. Now I'm looking at the clock and it's about 5:15 now. I managed eventually to haul myself out of bed at 6. Went in the living room, made myself a cup of tea, and I thought I'll go nighttime swimming tonight. So here is my nighttime swimming story coming soon. Stand by, everyone. Back to your messages. Adam, there is a disclaimer to all the snowflakes and millennials. It's a joke, this statement. Yes, you are the most professional amateur karaoke host playing the most up-to-date, out-of-date music, but we would not have it any other way. Or can you imagine a snowflake? How could you ever have a snowflake karaoke host? It just wouldn't work, would it? The abuse that we take. Oh, it's my turn next. Oh, you've missed me out. Oh, they were before, I was before them. It's all about me, 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 some of these karaoke people. A lot of them are all right. They sit there quietly and patiently and wait their turn. But the moment they think you've missed them out, they're up there, dear. Oh, you've missed my turn. But no, I haven't. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. I was before them. Yeah, but they haven't sung yet. Oh, okay. And they're going to go and sit down. Moan and they moan and they moan, dear. I'm so glad that I'm not someone who moans. I really... no, I'm not. I'm not someone who moans. Thank you, Adam. Adrian, first thing, my name is Adrian, not Andrew. Did I say Andrew? Did I say Andrew? Sorry, Adrian. You do look more like an Adrian than an Andrew, I must admit. Andrews are very good looking. Second thing, to see the message came up fast. No sausages. 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 Farrell, what do you call a cross between a cow and a canoe? My sister. Sorry. Oh, she's not watching. She watches sometimes. She watches secretly, her and her husband. You know, 3 days go past and her husband will bring up, my brother-in-law will bring up something that I said 3 shows ago. What do you call a cross between a cow and a canoe, Farrell says? A milk float. Have you ever ridden on a... They spit at you, canoes, you know. Camels. Camels spit at you. Farrell, you can spit in my face any time you want, lovey. As well, you know. Stafford, you should do stand-up, Chris. All right. There you go. That all right? I couldn't do stand-up. I would die a death. I'm sure I would die a death on the stage. Is there anything I want to do? Yeah, I'd be honest. I'd love to do a bit of television. I don't know what. I know how I like to send myself up, and sometimes on here I go on about being an internationally famous television star, popular all over the world. I do the same at the karaoke nights. I'll sing a song, and when I'll finish the song, I say that's got to be the best thing you've ever heard all week. But I don't mean it, and I have not really any interest in being famous for the sake of being famous. That's true. I've really no interest in being famous because there are a lot of people on there, contestants of Love Island, Big Brother. They are on the telly because they want to be famous. I want to be famous. I want to be famous. And you will be famous for about 5 minutes. And then you'll be forgotten and tossed on that junk heap that all the other X Factor people end up on. Not all of them. Some of them are great singers, but some of them are absolutely dire. Absolutely dire. I have no real interest in being famous, but I would like to do some sort of television where I watch certain things on the telly and I think I can do this better than you. You know, you're just doing it for certain quiz show hosts, for example, where it's just so fake. It's fake. They're reading stuff off an auto cue. I mean, there's a lot of people that read stuff on an auto cue, but you've got to believe that they're not reading it off an auto cue. Do you see what I mean? And I do watch some stuff on the telly, and I do feel I can do that. But how I go about it, I don't know. And I don't push myself. Believe it or not, I don't actually push myself. I'm no good at pushing myself. I was talking to my friend Tom Edwards, who was on the radio and the telly. He lives quite close here, actually, and I try and meet up with him now every few weeks. And he was saying, you know, the first time he went to Los Angeles, and that was a television thing, and he was sitting in the corner all on his own. And people said, why are you sitting there all on your own? Well, I don't really know. Well, you've got to go out and hustle. You've got to go out and hustle for work. I can't do that. Can't do that. So I guess I'm just stuck here forevermore, sitting in little rooms like this, talking to myself. But that's okay. I don't mind that so much because we kind of got free reign to do anything you want to do on the internet. There's no one telling me what to do or say. And the last thing, in all honesty, I'd ever want to do is upset anyone. But If you're looking to be upset, you will find something to be upset about. You really will. That's how people are. They're just so pathetically, and they are pathetic. They are pathetically oversensitive snowflakes. On this program that we do, none of you are snowflakes. None of you are you? You're not offended by anything. Now and again we get one on there, and then they start spouting off, don't they? Oh, who is this old puff and all that? It doesn't bother me in the slightest. Just doesn't bother me. Oversensitive people, I think, is a new word. Oversensitive or pathetic. What's the difference? What's the difference exactly? Let's have a you. Thank you, Stafford. Thank you, Stafford. Let's have a look here. Katie has just cooked popcorn. Sounds so much better than that bloke's scrambled eggs, what he's just done, or whatever he's done. Just a moment. ITV is looking for a new Larry Grayson. Must be camp. But will that suit you, Adrian? I've never seen anyone as camp as you, to be honest, in my life. Christ, Adrian comes along to Central Station sometimes. He's at the bar and, oh, hello, Ev. Oh, hello, Chris. How are you? I loved your show last week. It's a bit like that. He's not a real man at all. Not Adrian. And he's got all his little girly friends around him. You know, very, very strange. Vaughan Live. Let's have a look at you. What you got on there? Yes, sorry, I've read that out already, haven't I? He's absolutely right. Thomas says there, interesting messages only, please. Yes, interesting messages only. This is where we get so confused with so many messages coming through and all that. A lot of people saying hello to each other and all that, and you've got to scroll through it. You also miss messages like that sometimes. It's just how it is. I wonder if because we do get a lot of messages on Facebook, I wonder if there's just too many for the system to cope on Facebook. All the others get through. It's just the Facebook messages. Give them a taste of their own medicine. You should. You could do shut that door. Now, I'd like to do generation game. And I want to play the game with you. That one, yes. Wonderful programme. Paul and Lou, is it me or do they have the thickest people on the game shows nowadays? I tell you what annoys me with game shows now, Paul and Lou. Game shows used to be quick and snappy, like that. Not anymore. They're long and drawn out and bloody boring, most of them. It's like when they ask someone a question, right? For example, and I've said this before. What is 1 + 1? Okay. So it then go to contestant and they go, well, 1 + 1. It's not 1 times 1, is it? Because that would be 1. It's not 1 - 1 because that would be 0. And it's not 1 + 2 because that would be 3. It's 1 + 1. I think the answer is going to be 2. And then the host will say, you want to go with 2. Well, yeah, I'll go with 2. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm going to stick with 2. Okay, let's ask the computer, what is 1 + 1? Dun! There you go, it's 2. Well done, everyone. My God, in the 1970s, Robert Robinson on Ask the Family would have had that answer in half a second. And it's all so bloody drawn out. What's all that about? What on earth is all that about? I think that actually started with Family Fortunes. I think I'm right in saying that was the first show that I saw where, why aren't they giving the answers instantly? They're kind of going around, beating around the bush, and you get an entire story there. And it takes them 5 minutes to get a bloody answer out of them. No wonder we don't get so many questions anymore. And it is so annoying. So annoying. Bring back quick questions. University challenge. That's quite quick, isn't it? That's quite quick. Right. The Price is Right. There's another one. Leslie Crowther. Do you remember him? He was on, of course, the children's programme as well. Crackerjack. Crackerjack. Oh, you were in a Crackerjack pencil and pen. Oh, yes. Crackerjack. Lou and Paul. Some of them are horrendous too. They give about 50 quid and on for an hour and so scripted. Exactly. No, Bradley Walsh is fantastic. Bradley Walsh is fantastic. Yes, I'll agree with you. He is doing the answers beat around the bush type thing, but of course he's being produced. You have to remember that. He is being told to do that. That's the format of the show. That's not his fault. Bradley Walsh is fantastic. I mean, I think he's one of my favourite people on the telly. And he seems to be able to do anything, doesn't he? Act, stand-up comic, quiz shows, the lot. Bradley Walsh could seriously, they should give the Generation Game to him. Or Deck from Ant and Deck. Either Deck or Bradley Walsh should have the Generation Game. And that needs to come back because it's hilarious. Because you need someone who can be ad-libbing. You want someone who doesn't require a blooming script in front of him all the time. And he can do it. He can absolutely do it. Bradley Walsh, yes. Stafford said I'm hardcore. Philip Schofield. Philip Schofield, I think is brilliant on the telly. Whatever he's given, he can do. He's fantastic. But he's on too much, like Holly Willoughby. Now, there's a wonderful person. So warm. I like Holly Willoughby, right? But again, she's on every other day or every day. It's too much. Can we see someone new, please? Philip Schofield, nothing wrong with their work. Nothing wrong at all. Highly regarded, including by me. But they're on all the time. We need to see some different faces now and again. Adrian, I'll get the puppy to bite your heels and your ankles. No, don't tell him to put that outfit on upstairs. You know. Paul, you were so correct about the question. That started with who wants to be a millionaire? Yes. Either who wants to be a millionaire or no, it was that, wasn't it? Of course, it was. It wasn't Family Fortunes. That started with Bob Monkhouse, and it was quick. I was incorrect there. You're absolutely right. Bob Monkhouse did, and he was, of course, the king of all quiz show hosts. He really was. Do you remember Bob's Full House? I like the music to that. Look up the music on YouTube after I finished. Theme, Bob's Full House theme. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba. And all the graphics, all the little bingo card going around. There are whole programs on YouTube of Bob's Full House, which was excellent. Strike It Lucky, Michael Barrymore, another excellent program. That was good with all the they were old style television sets everywhere, weren't they? That is some years old as well. That would look really dated if you showed that now, because of course the old television sets on there, wouldn't it? Talking of television sets, my nephew sent me a little link for a 50-inch television. I'm after a 50-inch television for the caravan, but I don't want to spend a lot of money because caravans do get broken into. You don't want to have anything of value in here, really, and I don't have anything of value in here. I've got an old television in there, probably worth about 30 quid. Old 32-inch flat screen telly that isn't smart. And that's what I'm after. I'm after 50-inch cheap second-hand television. And my nephew sent me a link to one yesterday, which was in Lincoln. And I sent them, I was straight on it and it had gone. Straight, it was only 50 quid. £1 an inch. That's not bad, is it? £1 an inch. Christ, I would have spent a fortune over the years if I'd have paid for my inches. Ray Reynolds. It was the success of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire that has made all the others' quizzes copying. Does it annoy you, Ray, the way it's all so drawn out all the time? Thomas, right side up. Where are we? Thomas actually does like it slowed down a bit. Oh, that's interesting. He likes it like that. You see, it just gets on my nerves. You're thinking, come on, get on with it, for Christ's sake. I mean, I don't mind one or two of the questions drawn out, but every single question is long and drawn out all the time. Thomas does like it slowed down. He said, what's the rush? Claire, the golden shots. Oh, wow. Possibly the best quiz show of all time was The Golden Shot. Bernie the Bolt. There's a great song. My favourite theme music for them was called This Is Your Golden Day. If you're interested, Claire, you can find that on YouTube. It's by a group called Rain. I think it's Rain. Type in Rain, Golden Day. And that was the theme music to the Golden Shot. That was very short-lived, that theme music. They changed it shortly afterwards. I don't think it went down too well. But the words were, "This is your golden day. Everything's going your way. A shooting star wherever you are. Whatever you're doing, this is your golden day." And it would finish with a bang, which I think was extra. That wasn't actually on the record. The bang was like a bolt going off, you know, because it was all crossbows and all. I don't think they'd be allowed these days, golden shot. I don't think you'd be allowed to do it. If you don't know, the golden shot involved a crossbow and targets, you know, with pictures and things. So wonderful artistic pieces that had been painted just for the show, and people would shoot at it, and an apple at the end where you'd shoot for the apple, and that a door would open if they got straight through the middle of the apple, breaking a string, and all this money used to come out. Wow, 50 quid in coins. Do you remember? Great show. Again, Bob Monkhouse, then hosted after Bob Monkhouse by Frankie Vaughan and Charlie White. And Charlie White was a great comedian. In those days, it was quite unusual because he was black. And I don't think there were any other black people on the telly at that stage. So that was quite groundbreaking and good to see. Charlie White on there. He was good. So they were the three hosts. The main one, Bob Monkhouse, then Frankie Vaughan, I think it was Frankie Vaughan, and Charlie White. Possibly not Charlie White and Frankie Vaughan. They might have been in a different order, but it doesn't matter. They were the ones there. Stafford, do you remember Faces with the woman that died of cancer? New Faces, yes. New Faces, Marty Kane. Wonderful programme. Absolutely wonderful programme that was, the New Faces. Marty Kane and that ghastly woman, Nina Mishkov. She probably was the first judge to be horrible about contestants on there. I think she probably, Nina Mishkov, but Marty Kane, again a great entertainer, and she died. And you remember Spaghetti Junction, the scoreboard on the back, lighting up. Again, you can find a lot of this stuff on YouTube if you want to relive those memories of when you were younger and all that. Let's have a look there. Hello to MD Sucken. Welcome along to the show to you. Nicholas Parsons. What a professional. Yes. Da 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 da. It's Sale of the Century. It's the Sale of the Quiz of the Week. Da 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 da. And today on Sale of the Century, you can win this teapot and teacup. Usual price, £100. On the Sale of the Century tonight, just £5. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. And here's your host, Nicholas Parsons. Da-da. From Anglia. Oh, yes. Wonderful. Oh, what memories we're having today, aren't we? We really are. I like him in Just a Minute. I never saw that, Just a Minute. Didn't see that. Live from Norwich. That's the one. That's the one. Stafford loves nostalgia. Yes. Drop the Cabbage. Don't know that one, John. Are you talking to each other there? Chris, take your age plus the year you're born, and the answer is 2018. This only repeats every 1,000 years. So my age, 55, plus the year I was born. 1963, 73, 83, 93, 03, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. You're absolutely right. Anyone else want to try that? Take your age plus the year you're born, and the answer is 2018. You try it. That works for me. So so I'm 55. I was born in 1963. That's 2018. Someone else try that. Does that work for everyone? Katie says we had new faces on Australia for a while. Yes, it was Bullseye. That was good. Jim Bowen again. Great host. Very natural. Very natural. Worked for Thomas. Go on, try that. Someone else try that. Let's just check on here. Let's go back to this other thing here. It was a success of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I've read to this. I'm writing a letter to ITV and Hollowilly Booby to get you on Surprise Surprise so you can host your own international game show. I could do Surprise Surprise, couldn't I? Oh, Surprise Surprise! Here is the wife that you left 5 years ago with 5 children. They've all grown up now and all in their 20s and they really want to meet you. Please welcome your ex-wife and your 5 children. Surprise, surprise. The rotten tomato that hits you between the eyes. Oh, God. Let's see. Charlie Williams. Charlie Williams. Yes, we remember Charlie Williams. Is that the name I said? Charlie Williams. I might have got that wrong. I remember Bob Monkhouse, says Julian, when he said Bernie the Bolt, and the reply was, don't you ever say please. Bernie the Bolt. And that bolt used to, Christ, and that thing used to go flying across the studio when it went wrong, didn't it? Do you remember? There was a couple of times where the bolt suddenly flew out of the machine because the contestant had pulled the button a bit too fast. Dear me. Apparently Roy says that works on every year you're born. Okay, try it next year. When the Golden Shot started, said Ray, its first host was Jackie Ray, and he used to say Heinz the Bolt. Oh, is that right? I didn't know that. I thought Bob Monkhouse started that out. You taught me something there, Ray. Stafford says, I think I found my cure for depression. It's your show, Chris. Thank you, Stafford. We are hoping soon to be prescribed by the NHS. I wonder if perhaps I can get money out of that, or just free prescriptions. Maybe I can get free prescriptions if I start sending this to the NHS. Adrian's going to go to the gym to get myself ready to do an arm wrestling contest with you. And when I win, you better not scratch my nail varnish. Adrian, what, you're going to a gym? Is it the first time you've been by any chance? I mean, I looked at you last Saturday and, Hello, Jason Carter with us today. Morning, Jason. Oh, I'm being terrible today. I haven't finished my bloody story yet. Can I finish my story? I want to go. I've got to go in a minute. In Bullseye, they once won a speedboat and lived in a block of flats in Coventry. Yeah, and there's some really good, not blockbusters, Bullseye stuff on YouTube. There's Jim Bowen. There's an interview with Jim Bowen about his time on Bullseye, which is really good. Find it on YouTube, okay? Crackerjack, you got 3 cabbages. You certainly did. 69 plus 1949. Is that your age? 1949, 59, 69, 79, 89, 99, 09, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Look, it does work every time. Hello to Dean Hoggart. You're a bit late, aren't you? What time do you call this, Dean? Nearly finished, mate. Nearly finished. Christ's sake. So here's the swimming story, and then I'll do today's birthdays, and then we'll disappear then. All right, so swimming. So I decided to go swimming last night before I went to pick up my niece from Lincoln. So I got in the car, and it's about a 25-minute drive to the swimming pool I go to. Went all the way to Horncastle and got there. Oh, there's a sign outside, closed for annual maintenance, open again tomorrow. Oh, for Christ. You know, and it's now like 7:30 at night. I thought, oh, well, that's good, isn't it? And I walked up to the door. I thought, I'd just walk up to the door, and there's a bloke there mopping. He's like, you're closed. Yeah, sorry. Okay, thank you very much. Got back in the car. I thought, well, that was a waste of a journey. I thought, no, I won't be beaten. I'll look another couple up. So I looked up, and there's 2 swimming pools in Boston. One called the Princess something, and the other, I can't remember what the other name was. So the Princess one was the closer one by just a few minutes. So I thought, I'll go there. So I got back in the car. I don't know where I am, of course, following the sat-nav. And honestly, it's taken me through pitch black, of course, little B roads, single lane roads, going through these fields. And then in the middle of nowhere is this great big sports centre. Isn't it weird? How things like you go through all these fields and suddenly there it is, all these bright lights. It's a sports centre in the middle of all these fields. So I've gone in there, and as I've gone in, as a woman, it was very modern. I don't think it's been there very long, and I spotted the swimming pool, and there's people jumping up and down in there, elderly people in there. So, Maureen's just sent us a text. Maureen, 47. What are we doing? 47. Maureen's coming late. Jingle Bell Rock. That's the one, Maureen. Excellent. Excellent. Have you seen the new carrier bags at Marks and Spencer's? Pigs' heads in Christmas hats. I'm sure they're going to offend the Muslims. Oh, bring one tonight. I'll give them out to everyone just to upset people. I don't think Muslims are offended by most of this stuff. It's just the religious extremists, really, most of the time. I don't think any Muslims are offended by Christmas or anything like that. It's generally the people who are offended are the people who are taking offence for other people. It's usually the white, balding, middle-aged men in council offices that take offence for other people. The actual people they're trying to protect are not offended. You'll often find that, let me tell you. It's just ridiculous. Why can't we just all get on together? You know what I'd like to see? I would like to see a religious service on a big altar or stage somewhere with the heads of all these different religions. So you'd have the head what are they called? Cleric. You'd have the head Muslim cleric. You'd have the Pope. You'd have the Queen, head of the Catholic, or the Archbishop, the Church of England bloke. You'd have him on there, and you'd have a Buddhist bloke on there, and you'd have like a Tibetan monk on there, and you'd have a rabbi on there, and they'd all be on this altar and having a service together. I'd like to see that. I'd really like to see every week. Every week. I would love to see that. Do you not think that would bring people together? Is it possible that that could ever happen? Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing to happen? And you can all, you'd have all these people there in this big doing the live thing. Either the Catholics and Church of England like this, the Buddhists are down like that, and whatever the others do. That would be a wonderful thing, wouldn't it, eh? Thank you, Maureen. I'll see you a little bit later then. Hello to Shahid. A very good morning to Shahid joining us. The Princess Chris swimming pool. That wasn't the name of it. No, it wasn't that. Adrian says, I don't know who you were looking at last Saturday. I was in hospital. I go there 3 times a week to the gym because it's good eye candy. What, your good eye candy? You reckon you're good eye candy, do you, Adrian? Are you looking at a picture of someone else or a mirror? Which is it? Oh, Adam's offended that I've forgotten the spiritualists in your list of people on the stage having a conference. There you are, you see, anyone can come. Anyone can come. Hello to Martin Carmichael. Morning to you. Well, it's freezing cold in Northampton. You're not too far. I'm up in Lincolnshire today. I missed off the Ministry of Yoda Star Wars division. I mean, we could just go on, couldn't we? Would the stage be big enough, I wonder? Oh, right. So there we are. So I've got to this princess swim. So I've gone to the reception. I'll have a swim, please. She said, okay. She said, that's, I don't know, £4, whatever it was. It's quite cheap to go swimming up here. And I said, is it all right to go in there at the moment? There seem to be a lot of people like jumping up and down, splashing. Oh, she said, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot, she said. That's the water aerobics. I'm afraid you can't go in there till 8:30. I said, okay, what's the time now? 10 to 8. I thought, oh, Christ, I don't want to stand here for 40 minutes waiting. I thought, oh, I think I'll leave it then. I said, there's another pool close by, isn't there? This is in Boston, incidentally. She said, yeah, but it's on the other side of town. Won't take you long to get here at this time of night. Okay, so I then jumped back in my car. So the third swimming pool now, I've got there. As I've gone in, the reception has got a board up, right? The woman behind the reception, she saw me and come out a little side door. Can I help you? I said, yeah, I want to go swimming. I said, is it too late? She said, no, it's not too late, but you can't book in here now. She said, you're going to have to go for a gym and swim. She said, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, £7 instead of like £4. She said, but you will be able to go in, come out this door, walk around the building, and there's another entrance at the back. Okay, well, I'll do that then. So, fourth option now. Come out of there, walked around the building, gone in the back, gym and thing. Then, of course, I'm not a member. So then I had to fill out the form with things that might be wrong with me. Usually it's heart conditions and muscle problems and things like that. Because remember, you're filling out this form for the gym, really. But I don't do gym. Can't be bothered. It's boring. Gym is boring. Gone in there, filled out this form. She's given me my little card. I've now got a little card, I bring every time and all that. Paid me £7, give her a tenner and walked in. And of course, can you tell me where the change room? Yeah, just in there, please. Right, so I'm in there. So I've changed now, and I'm looking for the £1 coin, and I felt, oh, she hasn't given me my change. No £1 coins. So I've come out there. Now I've got my little shorts on, slightly overweight, hanging over the shorts. And so, oh, you haven't given me my change. Oh, I'm sorry. She didn't even check, actually. Just opened it to her. I said, I do know it was because I've got no £1 coins for the locker. So that was all right. Put my £1 coin in and lock it up. So you've got to keep the card with you, and you tap it on the swimming pool door, and then it opens, and then you go in like that. And again, there they did have water aerobics on, but it's a big pool, so you've still got I think it was 2 lanes of swimming which were available. There was no one in there swimming, just doing the water aerobics. So this is now 8:10. The place closes at 9, so I did. It's a longer swimming pool than the one I'm used to going to in Bracknell. So I did 50 lengths instead of 60, which is probably a little bit more than the 60 I do there, because it's a longer pool. Got out of there. Good showers in there, I must say, very good showers. And they're men only. Men's showers, women's showers. So you can take all your clothes off and shower properly. And even a little curtain in this one. There's a curtain, so you're kind of enclosed in there. Had my shower. And that was it. So that was my swimming. It took me 4 goes to get into a swimming pool last night. Dear me. I might go today. It depends on time now. Friday is a little bit tight for me with time and that sort of thing. So I may or may not go today. I'd like to go this morning, to be honest. And that was my day. Then I came back here, had some dinner, then I went to pick my niece up and her husband from Lincolnshire. And the route took me right next to Lincoln Cathedral. Did I say Lincolnshire? Lincoln. Picked him up from Lincoln. It took me right next to Lincoln Cathedral. I go up this hill, and it's beautiful on the outside. I'd not been in the cathedral yet. My sister's been in there. She said she was disappointed because there's no pews. It was just like an empty hall. But I must go and have a look inside Lincoln Cathedral. Got to the road where my niece and her husband were, and I was amazed at all these little independent shops along this road. Now, it was Bally or some name like that, the name of this road. And I said, I didn't know these existed. I must come up here and have a look around. Then she comes out, and then the husband comes out. Pissed as anything, weren't he? But not nasty pissed, nice pissed. Like happy, chat. And she wanted a sandwich or some chips, and there was nothing open. We couldn't find anywhere to get her a sandwich. So she was starving hungry. By the time they got out of the car, when I dropped them home, the entire car stunk of alcohol. I'm surprised I didn't get pissed just breathing in the fumes from them. Awful. I eventually got to bed about 1:15 in the morning. But, it's your niece. It's like your niece and your nephews. You're not going to say no, are you? Do you know what I mean? And it was nice to have them in the car and to be able to do them a favour. My father would have done the same for me. I could have rung him any time, day or night. My father used to get up on a Saturday morning when he didn't have to work at 6:30 in the morning to take me to work. British Telecom in Wimbledon. And I used to complain. I never thanked him once. I think that's a father-son thing, because my brother-in-law does stuff, for their children. He doesn't often get thanks, or, it's just taken as a matter of fact, as something you just do for them and don't expect any thanks. I certainly don't expect any thanks for doing stuff like that. I think that's just a normal thing. I feel ever so guilty, often, knowing that I haven't thanked my father or spoke to him properly or spoke to him in a bad way. Once they've gone, it really hits you badly. It really does. But you can't turn the clock back. But I think that's just the way things are in life, isn't it, really? All right. There was my swimming story, Thomas. All right. That was my swimming story. He hasn't got all day. Okay, Scientologists rule. We want a Scientologist on there as well, do we, Nathan? We'll get a Scientologist on the altar as well, my friend. Katie, our pools are closed at night. Well, they close about 9 o'clock at night. The pools here generally close round about 9 o'clock at night. I would love to be able to go swimming whenever I wanted. If I get up at 2 o'clock, I fancy a swim today. The only way you do that is to have your own pool, wouldn't it? And I actually considered having one of those everlasting pools. You get in, they're only small, they've got a pump at one end and it blasts water towards you and you can swim against it. But they're horrendously expensive to maintain. And the bloke who runs a swimming pool in Bracknell, that Trevor his name is, he's a lovely chap. He said, you don't want your own pool. He said that the maintenance of it is really expensive and a bit of a nightmare. So I won't be doing that. Okie doke. Right, let's do today's birthdays, boys and girls, which I haven't got up on my screen. It's birthday. I haven't read any of the news stories today, have I, again? Never mind, always a message there. Who's that from? Is that a message for the show or not? Katie, the swimming pool where she is, that's Australia, isn't it? Close at 6 o'clock at night. Okay. Fair enough. Gary. Gary, you can't send over a private message like that. I don't see them until after the show. That's my nephew. Are you coming swimming? If you are, you need to be here within the next 2 minutes, mate. That's my nephew. Here we go. Oh, there's a lot of birthdays on the show this morning. Here we go then. Keith George, you wonderful man. Very, very good friend of mine. Is 47 years old today. Hugely successful entertainer. He does several things. The main one, I think I would say, is the Boy George Experience. He also does a drag act, Mandy Gap. And he does entertainment in his own name as well as Keith George. He goes around singing. Fantastic voice and a great entertainer. Happy birthday, my dear friend Keith. He's been all over the world entertaining. Keith George today, 47 years old. Good morning, Keith. You seem to look younger and younger for some reason, Keith. How do you do that, dear? How are you managing to look younger and younger as the years go by? Is there some reason for that? Huh? Happy birthday, Keith. Happy birthday today to the delightful Scott Bruton, who I haven't seen for quite a few years now. Scott was in the X Factor years ago. And again, very talented. He's been in theatre, as well as on television. Does his own radio show, Tameside Radio, up in Manchester. Happy birthday to you, Scott. Hope you're very well. We'll meet again someday, okay? Philip Kera, I think it is. Philip Kera is 53 years old today. Good morning, Philip. Happy birthday to you. Mike Callender. Happy birthday, Mike. Balthy Phoenix today, 42 years old. Paul Anthony Millington. Good morning, Paul. 28 years old today. Crystal Wade, drag queen extraordinaire. Years since I saw you, Crystal. That's since my Black Cap days is the last time I saw you. Happy birthday. Clinton Forbes. Hello, Clinton. Happy birthday, Clinton. Leon Carl Delaney is 52 years old today. Happy birthday, Leon. Christopher Toole is 53 years old today. And there's Mandy Gap, who, of course, is Keith George, also 47 years today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you on your birthdays, everyone, boys and girls, okay? All right, final messages today, and then I'll tell you what we're doing tonight. Thomas says, Tarquis was fun today. I'm glad you enjoyed our little show today. Tonight I'll be hosting karaoke. That's at Central Station Bar in Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. Our little show starts at 8:30, bang on 8:30, and we finish in just before 12 midnight. Okay, so that's karaoke tonight at Central Station Bar in Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. Every Friday, 8:30 until midnight. Thanks ever so much for joining us today, boys and girls. I will try and get a little swim. Oh, and I've got an electric bill to pay. I've had my second electric bill for being here in the caravan, and it's from 3rd of August until the 7th of December, £104. And with the amount of heating I've had on here, I'm very pleased with that, actually. £104. I wanted a bill of £80. I expected a bill of £200. It is actually 104. So I'm not complaining about that. I just hope she take cards. I think I'm a bit short of cash, to be honest. But I'll knock on the door and see later. Thanks for joining us. I'll see some of you at the karaoke tonight in Central Station. Have a lovely Friday. Thanks very much for watching and listening. See you soon. Bye-bye now.